Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hamdan syukran lillah, salatan wa salaman ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the first keynote session of the 2020 C-STEM International Conference at Kuala University. My name is Kismullah, and today I have the honor to introduce our keynote speaker and moderate the session. First of all, thank you for all participants for joining this session on time. And I am wishing you all health and happiness amid this pandemic time. I'd like to especially thank our keynote speaker, Professor Dato Dr. Noraini Idris, who has also joined us today from Malaysia. Thank you, Professor. Okay, some housekeeping rules for the audience and participants. All audience will be muted during the session. If the audience want to ask the question later, please write it down in the chat box. And please follow the format, your name, your country, and then your affiliation, and then followed by your questions. Please make your question brief and clear. So that will make sure that your question will be forwarded to our keynote speaker. And the talk for today will be 35 to 40 minutes, and then followed by 5 to 10 minute Q&A session. Now, please bear with me for a few minutes while I'm reading our keynote speaker's resume. Our keynote speaker for this session is Professor Dato Dr. Noraini Idris. She is many things, as I learned. She is the chairperson of Malaysia's National STEM Movement, and she is also president of IMTGT Uninet STEM, founder of Asia Pacific STEM Roundtable, and advisor to STEM Center at the University of Malaya. And in addition to that, she is also a Fulbright Fellow, an educator, of course, and a consultant, a heavyweight researcher, and a heavyweight researcher. This is in the way that she has been involved in many major research projects. And a little bit about her educational background. She attended University of Malaya for undergraduate study. Then she did both her master's and PhD degrees at the Ohio State University, and that is in the United States of America. And upon returning home to Malaysia, Professor Noraini Idris has been offered many important leadership positions, including Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation at Sultan Idris Education University, probably for many Indonesians that's known as UPSI, and also the Dean of Faculty of Education at the University of Malaya. Professor Noraini has presented and published many papers, articles in the field of STEM education. She is the principal investigator for a government-funded research project entitled Development of Teacher Education Model for Preparing Quality Teachers for Future Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. That's STEM. And she has collaborated with many international researchers, such as from researchers from UNESCO, British Council, the Sumitomo, Japan, and researchers from several universities in Australia. Professor Noraini Idris is an active research member of Classroom for Teaching and Learning of Mathematics, which is a part of an international collaboration between Malaysia, USA, Germany, Spain, and China. And her research areas of interest, as you may have known, includes mathematics education, teacher education, computer-assisted assessment, higher education, and comparative education. Prof. Noraini Idris is the international editorial advisor and reviewer for Journal of Mathematics, which is, I think, based in the United States. Then, for her contribution to STEM research, movement, and campaign, Professor Noraini Idris has received many awards. Gold medal at ITEX 2005, that's in Geneva, for Minority Young Scholars Project. Then Best Award at MTE 2007 and 2009 for a system that she's developed for school-based assessment. And higher education gold medal again at ITEX in 2011, 2013, 2014. This is for module that she's developed for teacher education. And then an award from Japan in Japan Intellectual Property Association, that's in 2018 for STEM leadership. And in that same year, she received International Education Award in Visionary Leadership category. And the most recent one, she received an award from the Republic of Croatia, that's in 2019, for her outstanding and excellent leadership in STEM. That is quite an impressive resume, I think, and a lot of awards, Professor. But I believe that Professor Noraini deserves this more than anyone else, I think, for her dedication to and leadership in STEM, which I think is driven by her firm belief that STEM subjects are ways forward and of vital importance to the future of industry. And today, she is going to talk about STEM education as a catalyst for change, in which one of her arguments is that STEM education is going to produce a workforce of problem solvers in the future. So let's not wait any further. Let us invite the first keynote speaker of 2020 C-STEM International Conference, Professor Dato Dr. Noraini Idris. And Professor, you have 35 to 40 minutes for talk, and then will be followed by discussion. Professor, the floor is yours.
And mathematics is the integration of the various technologies and engineering. So STEM incorporates all the technology that engage science and mathematics. This is defined by the National STEM Movement in 2016. Okay, in line with the STEM definition, we have a STEM skill. So when we see the STEM skill for the fourth industrial revolution, when way back in 2015, the complex problem solving is number one. Now in 2020, the complex problem solving is still number one. So in order to become the STEM to become the catalyst, we have to produce our citizen, our community, to make sure that they be able to become a complex problem solver. For instance, a lot of graduates now go for the interview, so they don't be asked question about what do you learn at the university, what can they do, no more. They are asking, okay, let's say my company now, I want to produce a product on food, that healthy food. So if you're coming as my scientist or my company, what can you do? This is the type of question been asking by a lot of industry for the graduates. But a lot of our graduates, they're not able to answer this type of question. They are not ready. So that's why now, when we are in university, whether we are in school, the way we are teaching should be very different now. We have to train, not only teaching them about calculus, for instance, about differentiation. In mathematics, we are not only teaching them y is equal to 2x plus 1, dy dx is equal to 2. The children or the student not able to see how is this concept be able to link up with the everyday life. So the complex problem solving, they must know about the global changes in the world just now, the global challenges. So if we see in 2015, the critical thinking is number 4. Now in 2020, the critical thinking become number 2. So we need a lot of our citizens of the future to make sure that they are able for critical thinking to reflect what they must do. We don't want people that just come to the work and waiting to be instructed. No, we need people that be able to challenge our situation and then find out what are the things. And if we see in 2015, number 10 is the creativity. But now in 2020, the creativity is up to number 3. So all these skills, STEM skill, the STEM is a discipline of knowledge. They must be strong in the content of physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics. But in order for our people to the community to become the catalyst of the country, to make sure that also they balance with this skill for the post-industrial revolution. So in the sense that now we want to produce our future citizen that they are able to become prosumer, in the sense that prosumer, they are not only waiting for to receive, to use only, to buy. No, we want them to become complex problem solver. We want to make sure that they be able to have a critical thinking and then creativity, so they can come out with some innovation. Just like what in Malaysia, our national STEM is doing on a lot of project on mentoring, where the university become the mentor, the mentee, the student. So we guide them how to love STEM, science, mathematics. At the same time, we are encouraging our students from young to come out with the innovation. Similarly, I observe in Singapore, some of the students even at the secondary school level, they already become millionaire because their assignment, their way of teaching, they work together between the lecturer or the teacher and the industry partner. So when they assign a workshop, they assign assignment, that of use of today. What are the in the technology? What is in the food processing, and then how they can come out with some products that being patented, and then they can sell. So this is the way forward. How we want to make sure that our citizen of the future make STEM as the catalyst to face all this fourth industrial revolution. And then we in Malaysia, we also see that there's a mismatch, the knowledge types of imbalances. So these are the things that we are worried about. So from here, from this data, I think we can get it from OECD report in 2019. I'm sure what facing by Malaysia is facing by other countries too, where we teach differently at the university, but outside there is requiring a different type of knowledge. The circle in orange is the OECD skill for jobs requirement, and the blue is in for Malaysian data. So if you can see here, if there's a the knowledge type imbalances, so it's very difficult for us to cope up, to become innovative country, and to make sure that our community are very happy with what their the education to produce the future use in all these balanced type of knowledge. For instance, now people are going for computer electronics. If you can see computer electronics data, OECD country required 0.3, whereas Malaysia still at 0.1. So the knowledge types of imbalances here indicated that we still need to look at our curriculum at the university level. What are we going to change? How are we going to make sure that the graduates or the student at school level we are producing, they are compatible, they are being relevant to the today's requirement. Okay. And then, we also, from the OECD report, there's a lot of shortage and misalignment. So if all this occur, and we cannot see STEM as the catalyst for the 21st century, we have to make sure that the alignment is in correct reference for the skill jobs. Yeah. Okay, and then the some of the success initiative under National STEM Movement and the University STEM Centers. National STEM Movement and National STEM Association, now our NGO also, we open also under NGO, National STEM Association, and we work closely with several university STEM center. Not only the universities, we also work closely with the the school STEM centers. So we encouraging throughout the Malaysian to make sure that we work hand in hand. One of the successful initiative is the project STEM Mentor Mentee since 2015. So this we have been continuously before this project STEM Mentor Mentee has been reintroduced. We noticed that the number of students in the pure sciences class, where they are taking at Form 4 level, taking admits, additional mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, is very, very few of them uh, throughout the whole country. So after we conducted this project STEM Mentor Mentee, since 2015, we have seen this increment in the number of students, would like to take pure sciences. And we also very fortunate that we work together with the industry. So the industry also guides our mentor when the mentor is from the university, the mentee is from the school. So we work closely together following our STEM pipeline, as I showed you earlier. So Alhamdulillah, we have seen the improvement, and we are still continuing and conducting now. Except that before that, we're doing it a lot face to face. We go down to the school, but now we do it all online. It's a challenging, it's a new normal, but somehow or other we have to make sure that our mentor keep on motivating themselves and to motivate their sisters and brother, their mentee at school level. The second initiative is the STEM ambassador. The STEM ambassador is the university student taking elective courses um, like STEM literacy, the coding, all those that courses related to STEM, to make sure that they see what is the current, what's happening at the outside there in the industry. So all these students, the STEM ambassador, not necessarily they are from the science courses, but they can also from other courses. Instead, some of them from law faculty also can sign up for the STEM literacy, because we want to encourage all other career also, future careers, because of these students at the university, to take up and to know more what is the STEM, and then how important is that. Not only in the if they want to become a doctor, but if they want to become a lawyer, if they want to become a educator, they also need to know about STEM. The third initiative that our National STEM Movement and National STEM Association has conducted is a mini theatre STEM. This is, we are focusing more on the lower income and the middle income group, because they want to see learning of STEM more fun. Even though we said theatre here, they have to dramatize the problem of the products that they invent, and then how they invent it, then showcase it at the theatre. But before that, we also we send a lot of facilitator from to do the coaching and to do the
guide from the student to make sure that they are able to see how beautiful science. We have a successful story, quite a number, just to share with the audience today. We have one school last year that come out with how to produce a jam using watermelon. So they come out with a healthy jam. They work, the student work together with their biology, their chemistry, their physics teacher. Not only that, they also work together with the industry, how to package their product, how to commercialize their product. So, two of the last year of the mini theater STEM, we have bring them to ASEAN Youth Innovation competition, and Alhamdulillah, both of them has won the award. Not only that, they also have some connection and collaboration with the industry to buy their product. So this is the way forward in Malaysia. We want to make sure that a lot of students, educators, and parents, the parents also are invited to join. So this is the thing that in Malaysia we really want to make that STEM is not a difficult subject, but STEM is very useful in everyday life, in the economics, to make sure that they become the complex problem solver, they can become the innovative. And then the fourth one, we also, as in our STEM pipeline, we must start from young. That's why we have a project called Young Scientists. Yeah, scientists kanak-kanak. So scientists kanak-kanak is linked now by University Malaysia Sabah. They have a lot. They also focusing how to make fun as early as young childhood. So this we have seen a lot of children. They are really fun. They know about STEM as early as 4 years old, 5 years old. So we have exposed them. So when we follow all these success story, we can see that they are really enjoying it. They see STEM is not a memorizing subject. STEM is not a hard subject, but it's a fun subject because there's several modules. All our universities and also school, together with the industry, who came out with good modules to make sure that a lot of community will be able to use that to help the country. The fifth one is STEM and agriculture. Because in Malaysia, we have a lot of land. Even in school now, we also ask the school to utilize whatever space for them to learn to grow some hydroponics plant to do it in the school. So Alhamdulillah, we have seen that some of the school has produced a lot of vegetables, and they sell it to the teachers, to the parents. So we not only STEM and the agriculture there and the hydroponics, but they plant all those vegetables in a healthy way, and then they commercialize it. So this is the way forward of the 21st century learning that we inculcate through our education. And then we have seen that a lot of these children really enjoy when they do all these projects. Then, okay, so as I shared just now, it's still ongoing now since 2015. The STEM mentor mentee, we have about 10 universities all over, about 12, right? All over the country. And then we have a mix of preschool, primary school, secondary school. So you can see that all the students, all the teachers, they are very happy to see. And I also would like to highlight here, University of Malaysia Terengganu has done tremendous work to do this project mentor mentee, to the extent that they open up the Asasi STEM, the foundation STEM at their university, so that they be able to supply the products from their foundation to the first year on STEM. Uh, when they first introduced the center, it's only about 60 students coming, but because of our mentoring project just now, UMT has done a great job here. Now, recently, they are getting 250 foundation STEM, all excellent students. Not only they excellent in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology, but they're also excellent in reciting Al-Quran, and they also blend between knowledge of STEM and also knowledge on Al-Quran to make sure that, you know, there's a unique in their learning of science, technology, engineering, and academy. And similarly, all other universities have their own uniqueness, but University Malaysia Terengganu has done real tremendous, and congratulate them. And University of Malaysia Sabah specialized in young scientists. So normally every year we celebrate a few thousand young children attended at the gathering in UMS. But because of this year pandemic, we'll do a lot online. But what we see is that a lot of young children, they really enjoying, they really see the beauty of science and mathematics through all these projects. And now they do it mostly online, and they do all their at home. And then these are some of the smart learning activities that we conducted also with the help of the different universities. Some of the universities, they are focusing on robotics and coding. So we see that the student is really looking forward to connect it, because we don't want them just to have fun, but also must make sure that they be able to learn about the concepts of science, the mathematics, the physics, chemistry, when they conducted this. Because without strong in the understanding of the mathematical and science concept, they are not able to come out with some and innovate. We don't want them to become a follower. We don't want them just to buy things, but we want the future of Malaysia to be able to make sure that this STEM is really the catalyst of the 21st activities. So these are the things that we look forward to. And of course, in our class, we also allow them to use gadgets like calculator graphic, because nowadays there's a lot of big data to be, and supply chains and so forth. So all these gadgets we expose from young to make sure that less time is used not only to draw the graph by calculating mentally, but all those graphs can be tabulated and can be drawn using gadgets. So more time can be spent in the classroom for communication, for creativity, for decision making. For instance, once we calculate the mean or the standard deviation, we can ask the student whether they decide to buy Mercedes Benz or BMW car, and why and how. So all these can be make the learning of STEM more fun in the classroom, and to be able to become a critical thinker, and also be able to become a decision making. don't want them to become memorizer or follower. And we see that now a lot of all over the world have been using QR code. Everything now is free, and then lots of activity all use technology. So these is the things that STEM playing very very important role in helping not to use these gadgets, but we must encourage them to program their future platform, how they want to use, something like this in a more simpler way, more profitable. And then, of course, you know that world is becoming complex. So, in order to be successfully driven, not only what we know, but by what we can do with what we know. So, in the sense that it's a dual. You want a inventor. You want people that are passionate to invent, to innovate. So if you can see that Einstein, before he get the formula E is equal to mc squared, he has done several.
Yes, sorry to remind you that then we can have more discussion. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So in order to help science and math, well, just now, so this is the make sure that we will emphasize that. And then, of course, in Malaysia, we also use the one of the universities, Sultan Uniza in Terengganu also. They come out with good, how to rear and all these things. So this also we share with the school to make sure that not only in agriculture but also in the animals rearing and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So we have fun activities at early childhood, and we have to be prepared to think deeply and to think, become innovators, educators, researchers, and leaders. This is to assess quality STEM learning opportunities, and then innovative mind. Let them explore, let them do a lot of all this competition. Let them, give them some recycled material, and some we buy the materials to make them more innovative. So this is the way forward that happening in the teaching and learning now. And of course, there's a lot of this one propeller car, flash bottle. So some are recycled materials can be used. But all this must encourage our students to do it, to think themselves. We don't guide them, to make sure that they are the way forward to become the inventor. So the environment we have to create, the assessments and learning should be different now to make sure that they become the complex problem solving. And then of course the creative gardening. Some people say they don't have land. Well, you can do vertical gardens. So we had done that. The student enjoying while they do it, they learn something related to agriculture. So this is also another, so the kids really enjoy it, and then learning is beautiful and it touches our heart. We communicate with each other to make sure that STEM is really fun. STEM is really, but they have to explore. They have to do it. They cannot just sit in the class. All the activities that I've shown will make STEM learning beautiful. So with that, thank you very much. So I'll pass back to our moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. Most inspiring talk, I think, and with a beautiful closing as well, I think. Thank you so much. And now we've got 5 to 10 minutes left for our question and answer session. And I think the most important point is the clarification of what STEM really means earlier by Professor Noraini, that the focus is to promote STEM to as early as possible to our pupils, our children.
All right, so we are taking questions from participants now. And I think the first question that has come up to our screen is from Mr. Faisal Manurung from Universitas Asahan. And the question is, how does Malaysia government see the COVID-19 problem in education, and what is the solution to the teaching problem? So there's one question from Mr. Faisal Manurung. And then the second question, the second question is Rosmiati from Syekh Kuala University, Faculty of Teacher Training and Education. And her question is how to apply STEM in early age students. This is a very general question, but I think we need some sort of insight from you, Professor. I think let's Professor Noraini answer these two questions first, and then we'll see if got time, and then we'll continue to the next round of questions. Professor?
The first question, how does Malaysian government see the COVID-19 problem? This is a very good question where majority of there's a lot of online teaching happening. And then we also encourage doing a lot of workshop. The teacher doing workshop with the student online. Even National STEM also doing workshop with we invite several coaching, several people that do guide all these student workshop. But we understand that because our country is very, we have 14 states. Some are in the urban, some is in the rural. So there's a challenge also with the internet. So those with the challenge in the internet, we send them a recording of our teaching and learning for STEM. This is to make sure that there's no child left from the learning of STEM. We will try to accommodate with the different situation to make sure that the teaching of STEM is not being left out, in Malaysia. So we have our Minister of Education is really working very hard to make sure that all majority of our students still learning, especially for the STEM. All right. For the second question, how to apply STEM in early age student? Mostly in the early age student in Malaysia, under our project Young Scientists, what do we do is that we design a lot of fun modules. Our modules not only be conducted in classroom, but also conducted outside the classroom, especially in the agriculture. We train our young children as early as 5, 6 years old to start planting their own vegetables, their own flower, and then they learn how the science of the concept of science, the concept of mathematics. And then when they do the coding, the color coding and all these things, that is related to mathematics. So we link up a simple way to make them learning, fun. And now with this COVID, we also now myself with the University of Malaysia Sabah and with the Dr. Koni, we come out with a STEM COVID-19 module, where inside there there's a science, and then how they clean up their hand with the soap and everything, and then how they take care of the health. We get them doing all this activity. At the same time, there's a question being asked in the module. So the teachers, the parents will be able to use our STEM COVID-19 modules, not only for hygienic, but also for moral, the community moral to take care of each other's health. So it's still in the process of implementation now, but the module is already ready. We call it STEM COVID-19. So we take, yes, all these STEM can be applied as early age. They are really enjoyed, all right? And I saw there's also another question there from Ibu Rini, ya. Bagaimana menerapkan STEAM pada siswa selama pembelajaran di rumah? So here in Malaysia, under National STEM Association and Movement and the University STEM Center, we do a lot of online coaching. We don't only invite professors to talk, but we also invite a lot of industry to link what they can do on the science project, science activity, the innovation. So what we notice is that the students enjoy it, and then they need to do some research also to make sure that the STEM they don't, all those important concept, whatever field they are doing. For instance, like Siswa, they are doing on programming. So we connect them with people specialized in the programming industry to talk online to make sure that they are continuously being helping. But sometimes the line might not be clear or whatnot. We record it, and then they can see, again, or if they are not have the opportunity to follow online live, they can also learn through the activity. The recording. Yes. And then,
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think as much as we want to hear from you, Professor, we would like to hear from you more, but we have limited time for our session. Inshallah, we'll meet in some other occasion later. I think your insights are very inspiring. It's very inspiring talk. You're sharing experience, and then the initiatives that you have laid out that have been done by Malaysia. I think this can be models for other countries probably to replicate. Maybe I think. And also in terms of our approach to education, as you indicated, probably this is the time to reassess probably our approach to education and promote more STEM to our schooling, and especially at the very early age, so that to channel that pipeline as you mentioned at the beginning of your talk. Well. I honestly wanted to hear more, but maybe in some other time. Thank you. We really appreciate your time for today, Professor Dato Dr. Noraini Idris. It's always inspiring. This is the first time I listened to your talk, but this is probably the first of many times later, I believe. And finally, once again, thank you so much, and thank you for participants for asking the question and for tuning in with focus today to Professor Noraini's talk. I hope that there are many things that we can take home, we can take away from this. Thank you once again, everyone. Akhirul kalam. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.